So today's video is sort of a craft project. There's an etiquette for meetings. Some people pay attention to the etiquette, some don't. Generally speaking, the Goochland meetings have been relatively well-mannered and quiet. The chairman of the Planning Commission scolded the audience quite often because we expressed an emotion that of surprise or disappointment or excitement if the speaker touched an emotion or touched a vibe that we were connecting with. And so they don't generally like that, but you could still have an impact in meetings. They don't generally allow signs. The signs can be allowed in the back, but that puts them out of the standard press coverage, because you'll notice that most of the signs are in the back, and most of the press is also in the back, so they're not gonna catch you. If, however, you have a sign like this, it's also known as a fan. And so it's perfectly acceptable in meetings like this. You've probably gotten them at baseball games and other things here if you've been in, and they always have some sort of advertising on it, and they don't block the view of the person behind you. So from an etiquette standpoint, if we hear something that we think is outrageous or untrue or unfounded or a myth, we can all raise our signs over our head. And the press will be able to pick that up, and we'll be able to show the Board of Supervisors, the Planning Commission, and everyone else that we don't agree with whatever was just said by whomever just said it. So it's very critical, I think, to get our point across respectfully but strongly, if that makes sense. In other words, we want to have an impact. We want to let them know that we're all together. And if we each have a sign like this, imagine 1,000 of them going up. 1,000 of them. That's better than the wave. We can call it the Goochland wave. Anyway, that's what today's video is about. It's sort of a craft show. I'm going to take you through step by step. It doesn't take much. Takes a pair of scissors. Now, it will be done, and you can do it in less than 10 minutes. Let's get going. So what do you need for this craft project? Well, I was out buying batteries to change for my smoke alarm when daylight savings time's coming in a few weeks, as well as new filters for the furnace, since it's time to do that. And so I stopped at the paint store and got whatever, there's a bunch of them, I mean 10 of these paint stir sticks. That's one thing. And then you need something to make a circle trace, so I got a plate that just to use as a template. And you need some cardboard. I got a cardboard box. And some white paper and a marker. If you're more artistic than I am, which isn't a very high bar, you can get colored paper and colored markers and all that kind of stuff. But right now I'm just using the white paper with a black marker, and you'll need some tape or glue and maybe even stapler. It just kind of depends. The whole idea is to, and scissors. I won't run with them, I promise. The scissors to cut the cardboard and cut the paper, because what we want is a sign, which is actually a fan, so that if you get hot while you're in the meeting, you can fan yourself. And those are perfectly legal and accessible things that you can. If you've been to a baseball game, you've probably seen them there. They hand you they hand you little signs, and they've all got advertisements on it. And we're going to do our own brand of advertisement as soon as I get this apart. And I'm probably going to be doing some fast forwarding through this, so you don't have to watch me do some of the cutting and stuff. Okay, there's that. Now, I'm going to try and do 2 of these so I can mount a piece of cardboard on each side of the stick. So, I'm just going to draw, probably get a pencil instead of... so I'm just going to draw a circle, using the plate as my template. And I'm going to pause for just a second to see if you can see that. So it looks like it's all visible, so I'm actually going to draw another circle. And that's why I say it's kind of like a craft class. And hence, now I'm done with my plate. Instead of I'm going to get a box cutter. I'll be right back. To save some time, I'm going to use a box cutter. Which is probably a dangerous thing for me, but all I need is something about round. You know, it doesn't have. This is not science. This is not even art. It's just well, maybe it's political science. I don't know. So there's our first part of the lollipop. Never supposed to cut towards you, are you? I think that's a true thing. Great, I now have 2 pieces of the lollipop. And the idea is to get my lollipop stick and put it in between here. Because I'm not too confident in the ability of my stapler to actually hold, because I don't have one of those industrial staplers. It's just a paper stapler. I'm going to get some tape, heavy duty packing tape. Actually, it's Scotch tape. And just try to make that work to hold the stick in place like this. And again, that's half of it. And then the other half, I'm going to staple, or I'm going to try to staple. If it doesn't work, I'll use tape. It's close. Might take a couple stitches. And these are standard staples too. If you've got longer staples, they'll work better. So now I have my my fan. If it gets hot, I can wave my fan, and that's a perfectly acceptable thing to have in a meeting. It's for your personal comfort. Now what I'm going to do is get some typing paper like this, and again I'll get my plate and my pencil. And the plate is evidently about 8 inches across, or 8.5 inches across, because it's as wide as my paper. I need 2 of those, and again, this is art, not science, so I'm just going to put two pieces together and then cut them. Now the idea of this is that these signs are very portable, and if 1,000 people raise signs like this, fans, then we're showing that we're not a fan of whatever it is they're saying, that they have somehow breached what we think is they crossed a line which we don't agree with. Okay, so now we have to attach these pieces of paper to our lollipop fan, and you've got a couple ways you can do it. I'm probably gonna, for today, I'm gonna do, again, staples again. I'm not sure it's gonna hold, but might as well do both sides, I guess. No, that won't work. So I'm gonna do staples again. It'll look kind of tacky up close, but I'm not looking for up close impact. I'm looking for to be one of the 1,000 signs that gets raised during these meetings. Okay, so there's one side. Fan with white stuff, white paper on both of it, waiting a blank canvas, so to speak. Now some folks, the artsy folks, might want to put a red background like a target. I don't have that. I'm going to practice first to see what might look good. I've got an industrial strength Sharpie, so I'm just going to try this. No nukes. I'll put no nukes on one side and no data centers on the other. I'll probably have to adjust a little bit. The big word I want to get out is no. So, holding that up, no nukes. You hold it up above, you're not violating the sign rules in a meeting. The other side, I'm going to put no data centers. I don't want to put no DC because that will get that'll get a different kind of press. So I've got no data centers on one side and no nukes on the other. So that's all we have. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.